Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Ikoria draft here on the channel. Before I dive in, I do want to remind that if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I also want to announce that today we are joined by special guest, a Legenvd. Luca is a prolific drafter. He has a fantastic YouTube channel, a fantastic Twitch stream. He also does play Constructed there if you're interested in that kind of thing, and he is going to be joining us for the drafting portion of this video. Welcome to the channel, Luca.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Yeah, so what have you been thinking of Ikoria so far?
Well, it's been a lot of fun with a couple asterisks, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that the companions overall are maybe a little bit too good, even with all the restrictions. And then, of course, the Boogeyman being the cycling deck, which has a few cards that maybe are a little bit too easy to get in draft and might be a little bit too powerful.
Are there
But
any?
other than those
Yeah.
two, I'm enjoying the format quite a bit.
What are some of your favorite cards or strategies to use other than those ones?
My favorite one, I have to say, is probably the Reanimator deck with Back for More and Bonds. I forget the name, the 5-mana one. Which
Oh yeah, Unbreakable Bond.
Unbreakable Bond, yeah. Those two in like a Reanimator deck where you play a bunch of those big cycling creatures like the Sandworm or a Titanothrax or the Void Beckoner, and then reanimate them and usually have a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've really enjoyed those decks when they come together as well. Pretty uncommon based, but still fun nonetheless. So let's hope to get some of those cards going into this draft. But yeah, I've definitely been enjoying the format as well. I think that that's one of the sweeter decks to do. It's a very unique deck too, because normally in limited you don't get to really draft Reanimator unless it's like a cube. So it's cool for
Indeed. It feels like you're kind of playing a combo constructed deck almost.
Mm-hmm. And limited players, ironically, love playing decks that are like constructed decks, which is kind of, yeah. Oh, because you always want your limited deck to be as good as possible, and that's often the best way to do it. Okie doke, so we're diving right in. When you open a pack, is there any approach, or do you just like look straight at the rare, or do you like, if you're opening a pack in paper, do you like sift through the commons first?
I'll usually go with the rares and uncommons, and then if there's nothing that catches my eye, I'll go over the commons, but usually want to just take it in one at a time.
So in this pack, is there anything that catches your eye?
Symbiote's okay, the Polywog.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, the pack's pretty weak.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't mind the Bootnipper, since it's a good base for Mutate. Wolverine can be good in the Blue-Red Spells decks.
Mm-hmm.
But I would probably lean towards the Symbiote and try and end up in some sort of Blue-Green or Sultai Mutate deck.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's just the high. It's like there's a lot of decks in this format that need like payoffs and enablers, and this is one of the enablers for one of the supported decks. I will say I think Spell Eater Wolverine is also pretty good in just the cycling decks because you just have a bunch of random like 1-mana cyclers that happen to be instants and sorceries, like your memory leaks and things like that. But I agree with the Symbiote here. I haven't quite worked up the courage to play with the Ozolith yet.
I've even tried it in Constructed, and it's not great there, so...
Good to know that we can get that from our correspondents on the Constructed side of things. Every time it like comes up in a pack, I just have comments that are like, please play the Ozolith, please. It's just like, yeah, it doesn't really work out. So in this pack, there's a pretty sweet rare that I've had the chance to play with. I think there's a good card. In blue, there is Facet Reader, and not really much else. And then other commons are like Migratory Greathorn, Bushmeat Poacher. What do you like in this pack?
Oh yeah, I'm just going straight to the Greathorn here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much else that comes close to it, at least for me.
Yeah, just partly for the synergy with the Baby Godzilla. I mean, the Polywog Symbiote.
Great synergy. Yep, great synergy. Just a good card in general. And ramping in this format's pretty good too, since you don't get a lot of it.
Mm-hmm. Is this like the pick that you would make if this was pack one, pick one, or would you maybe get a little more ambitious and go for the rare or a different card in the pack?
I would probably still take the Greathorn,
Mm-hmm.
but I've definitely had some good experiences the other day with Offspring's Revenge, so it is a fun rare, but I wouldn't take it very early just because it's such a commitment.
Yeah, agreed. I think that the Migratory Greathorn is definitely one of the better ones, and it can enable some pretty sweet splashing later on in the packs. In this pack, there are some blue cards. There's a Neutralize, Development. Green, though, did dry up. There's an Excavation Mole, and that's the only green card. And then there's some mediocre red, Huntmaster Liger. What do you like in this pack?
Not too thrilled about this pack, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Neutralize is like fine, but the mutate decks are more tap out decks, so keeping up 3 mana is a pretty big investment.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there's nothing else I really want.
Yeah.
Maybe take the mutate, the white uncommon, in case we want to go into white, but usually the mutate decks don't end up white.
Yeah, and even if you do, Huntmaster Liger isn't really the greatest mutate payoff. One other thing about Neutralize is sometimes you can hold it up to protect like your big mutate stack, which I do like. So if you have like 3 creatures in one, it's like a more versatile keep safe type effect.
Yeah, it's probably my pick here, but I'm not happy about it.
Interesting that the bot was going to pick us the Startling Development. That's kind of cool that the bots are getting higher on the 1-mana cyclers as time goes on, potentially. Okay, so our draft has started off a little rocky, but we do have some pretty good cards in the pile nonetheless. We have, in this pack, there's a Honey Mammoth, there is a Cunning Nightbonder in the uncommon slot, and then there's a decent 1-mana cycler for Drannith with Drannith Healer, Cloud Piercers in the pack. Overall, pretty mediocre power level. What do you gravitate towards here?
There's a lot of different directions we could go here with our current starts. There's like Leech if we want to end up Sultai, can also maybe pivot into blue-black Flash, and then that's a fine curve topper. We could dip into white for the Vulpikeet as another good mutate creature. Or we can just take the healer as kind of a safe cycling pick that who knows whether we play it or we just end up cycling it.
There's also a chance that Nightbonder wheels out of the pack if we take like the Blitz Leech, and then we have like some decent cards for a blue-black deck.
I've been pretty impressed by the Leech overall, so I think that's probably what I would gravitate towards.
Yeah, I also think it's a fine splash target in a blue-green deck as well.
Ooh,
here we can see the Unbreakable Bond.
I like.
Yeah, this is a great one. There's even like an expensive cycler that you can just play off color to cycle to get back with Bond and then hit them with a hasty card. Other cards in the pack that are great include Heed Bonder, Of One Mind can do work, but I think we're just snapping up the Unbreakable Bond here, especially with a late Blitz Leech, so we can get that sweet Reanimator value going. We even have the tools to potentially play black-green, so pretty nice stuff there. So I think this is a clear pick. After this card in the pack, what would you take here? Would you take a Heed Bonder or maybe Of One Mind?
It's probably between the Of One Mind or maybe even the Serpents, but yeah, one of those two.
One of those two, yeah. Okie doke. So we've got the Unbreakable Bond, and now we're looking for cards to reanimate. Also, Boot Nipper seems like a pretty good addition as just a cheap card to hold the fort while we wait for Unbreakable Bond to kick in.
Yeah, I do like Boot Nipper, especially if we end up with more mutates. Then there's the Smasher as just a fine card by itself that's also good to reanimate with the Unbreakable Bond since we cycle. And then that's also pretty late Snare Tactician in the pack, but I don't think we're going to end up there.
Yeah, we're kind of far from the cycling deck. There's also Drannith Stinger for a cycling deck.
Yeah, so the cycling archetype seems pretty open, but it's okay for not cycling here.
Yeah, I think Sanctuary Smasher or Boot Nipper is the pick. Which one do you want to take?
I'll go with the Boot Nipper here, but it's close.
Yeah, I like having the fact that we've gotten 3 black cards in a row. Like we get Boot Nipper, Bond. We went Blitz Leech into Unbreakable Bond and Boot Nipper, so we're kind of getting some nice black signals. And now there's another black card in Memory Leak, or we could take another blue card in Neutralize, even dip into white for something like Divine Arrow. I lean towards Memory Leak myself, but I'd be interested to hear your thought.
Yeah, it's close between Leak and Neutralize for me. Like, if we're going to be the Reanimator deck, I usually don't want to be heavy blue. I would rather just be black-green with maybe a splash. So then Neutralize kind of awkward. So maybe Memory Leak makes more sense.
Yeah, but then if we like went for a blue-black Flash deck and like wheeled the Cunning Nightbonder Neutralized, goes up in value. That type of thing. Yeah, I think because we only have 2 blue cards right now, we could still just play a lot more colors. So that's why I like sticking with 1 color there. But I can see arguments for the other one, because Neutralize, I think, is a little bit better than Memory Leak in like a pack 1, pick 1 situation. Okay, so there's another Smasher.
Yeah, it's probably my pick here. And then, who knows, maybe we can end up like Junt, and then it makes for a fine Reanimator target.
Yeah, we have only seen the 1 good green card, and we got it like 2nd pick, so it hasn't looked insanely open, but we could definitely just get paid off pack 2 and then just rely on getting tons of black cards in the other packs. Here, there's a Will of the All Hunter. I probably would take Keep Safe as a sideboard card here if we did end up blue. Maybe a Dart, but not really a great pack overall.
This is Premier Draft, right? Or was it traditional?
This is a traditional, so there is sideboarding.
Okay. So, yeah, then Keep Safe makes sense.
Yeah, and then, Facet Reader could be really cool with Unbreakable Bond as a way to get some big stuff in the graveyard. Combo. Yeah, even though you generally are reanimating cyclers anyway. There's also Clash of Titans. Have you gotten to play with Clash of Titans at all?
I don't think I've actually cast it. It's been cast against me a few times, and it's been kind of a blowout. I had like the 6/6 trample rare that makes another token, and they killed the token and the rare with the clash. That was pretty backbreaking, but I can't say I've cast it myself yet.
Do you think it's like a good card, or do you think it's just like that was a perfect situation
It
for it that came together?
it's pretty high variance. Like it's also good if someone has a Death Touch creature and you can fight a small boot nipper with like their giant creature.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be kind of a dead card, so it's pretty high variance.
Yeah, I think Cathartic Reunion. We already have a keep safe for the board, and maybe
Yep,
we
in
end up in
case
a
we end up a bit more red.
yeah Black Red Reanimator, classic stuff. Ooh, Cloud Piercer very late. Red has looked relatively open. Like we saw a late Sanctuary Smasher,
And
late
the Stinger too.
yeah, and the Stinger. Good point on that one. Stinger I think is a pretty important card for a lot of the red decks. Not really ours, but for a lot of the red decks, it is a pretty important card.
Yep.
Wow, Sudden Spinnerets. I've actually gotten blown out by Sudden Spinnerets, and I've blown people out with it, like stopping certain removal spells and things like that. Okay, pack 2. Ooh! Oh, this is an interesting pack. So we opened a Obosh the Prey Piercer, which is a pretty potent card. I don't think we could companion it at this point, because
Yeah, it's a bit
it's
late
a
for
bit
that.
late to do that. But it is just a powerful card. There's also a Blood Curdle as a removal spell, and there's a Lore Dracus if we wanted to have some red mutates shenanigans. I think the pick comes down to Blood Curdle versus Obosh. But what do you
Yep.
think?
I would probably lean Blood Curdle. I've just been very impressed by it every time, especially
Yeah.
the Menace counter being super relevant,
Yeah.
paired with like Blitz Leech, making that into a Menace threat makes it way better.
I agree. I like Blood Curdle a lot, and I think Obosh, if you aren't companioning it, is like a solid but not like insane card because it's like a 5-mana 6/5 in that case that maybe
Yep.
buffs the damage from a couple of your cards. But I think Blood Curdle is always going to be a great pickup, and always one
Agreed.
happy to get.
Especially if we had a bunch of Whisper squads, then Obosh would go up in value.
Yeah, exactly. Whisper Squad is like one of the best combos with Obosh, especially for those decks that are trying to companion Obosh. Someone's told me they had 7 Whisper Squads in an Obosh deck once, which is kind of
Nice.
insane. But in this pack, this is another cool pack. There's a lot of cool stuff. The good cards. There's Rock Slide as a removal spell. There is Far Finder to fix our mana, maybe. Cloud Piercer, which did wheel last time, so maybe not a high priority. And then Friendship, which has been pretty impressive to me. What do you want to take here?
So yeah, for me it's between Farfinder and Rockslide, and don't know our exact like mana situation yet. If we're gonna be just 2 colors or if we're gonna splash. So I would probably just gravitate towards the removal spell since we know for sure that we're probably gonna play that at this point. Since it looks like we're gonna end up with just black-red with maybe a splash.
Yeah, and even then, we don't really have any great cards to splash at the moment, so I definitely like getting a Rock Slide here. Pretty much, it's never that bad to go. Oh my gosh, it's never too far wrong with Rock Slide. But we got this reanimation spell that you mentioned before the video, Back for More. It goes really well with big cyclers like Titanoth Rex, and it's a really easy card to splash. So definitely something we'll want to play in our deck. I've actually
at this point, Farfinder definitely goes up in value. To give us a bit of fixing, hopefully get an Evolving Wilds or some dual lands.
Yeah, pretty early pack 2 to see it Back for More here. And we probably wouldn't splash the Great Horn, but we could even still go into a black-green deck that splashes red because we don't really have insane red cards, and we could just splash like Rumbling Rock Slide and Sanctuary Smasher or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely getting the Back for More here and going for that strategy. If that wasn't in the pack, I think I'd take... Oh yeah, we're roping them.
Yeah, hoping to wheel like a Boot Nipper, Coil Bug, or the Serpent.
Do you like Coil Bug or Boot Nipper more like early in the pack? I think that's a pretty... Like, they're both black 2-drops.
Probably the Boot Nipper, given that it has a few more synergies, but Coil Bug's been fine too.
Yeah, I agree with that evaluation. Okay, so in this pack, there's an Archipelagore, which we aren't really going to be casting, but it's one of my favorite cards in the set. There's a Heed Bonder if we went heavier green. There's another Great Horn. There's a Blitz Leech, and there's one of those dual lands. So there's actually a lot of options in this pack. What do you want to take, or what are you weighing your options between?
This one's close. Like, do we take the Caves is kind of the safe pick. Great Horn is a bit more speculative, but could be higher upside, and Leech is like fine, but we can probably pick up another Leech later. So I would probably lean Caves, but Great Horn could maybe be the pick if we end up black-green with the red splash instead.
Yeah, I think that given the way pack 1 went, it doesn't look like green's going to be open from that direction. So I feel like it's nicer to just splash the back for more in a black-red deck rather than the other way around. So I agree with the Caves pick there. We've seen a lot of Heatbonders this draft, which is kind of crazy. That card in multiples has been actually really scary when I played it, but I don't think it really fits our deck very well. Here, I think it's just a pretty clear Rock Slide over Blitz Leech.
Yep, hope to wheel one of them at least.
Yeah, getting a second Blitz Leech would be nice. And now just a Coil Bug for some early plays. Our deck is actually really coming together nicely. Mutual Destruction is a solid card in the sacrifice decks, but even though we're black-red, which is sometimes the sacrifice colors, we don't really have that kind of deck. We're more Reanimator.
Yeah, if we have like a Coil Bug, maybe get a Farfinder, then Destruction goes up in value a bit.
Ooh, so now here's another really close pick. There's a Rock Slide and there's an Evolving Wilds. So Evolving Wilds would help our mana. Rock Slide, we already have 2 copies of it, but still just a great card. What do you want to take here?
This one's close. I mean, there's no such thing as too much removal. So probably go Rock Slide still, but it's close. Like, we do need some fixing.
Yeah, I generally like lean towards just taking the powerful cards a lot of the time, but I definitely, if we're going to make playables regardless, I like fixing when I can over like the more medium cards. So like over like, I think over Boot Nipper, I think I would have maybe taken the Evolving Wilds or things like that. At this point, we're not playing blue. And we're probably only splashing that one card. Oh, I know you like to see it in this view for curve purposes sometimes. I remember.
I've been doing it less. I've been doing it less now with human draft since there's less time to look at it, but it's still nice to have a quick peek.
Yeah,
Memory Leak seems fine here. Could also maybe go for the Mammoth, but at this point it looks like we're going to be main red.
Yeah, and now there's a Shredded Sails or a Clash of Titans.
Could experiment with the Clash.
Yeah, I got to get that practice in. Those reps. This card, when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like incredible, but then there have been times where it does like very little, and then every time my opponents cast it, it seems to be like the best card ever. But I also think this is a pretty late Essence Scatter, but yeah. Nice to pick up for Clash. Now there's a Forbidden Friendship or a Cloud Piercer. Which one do you want to take here?
If we can wheel one of those Bone Splinters, then Friendship would be a little bit better. Yeah, probably go for the Friendship.
I will say this is a very late Essence Scatter, and there was one last pack. It's just we weren't really ever in blue, given the cards we had and the amount of black-red we saw, but those were pretty late Essence Scatters. Another late blue card in the Neutralize. I mean, just kind of interesting to see these cards going around so late, especially because it felt like in this pack we didn't see a ton of black, even though in pack 1 we got all the black cards, so pretty interesting how the draft shaped up. Oh my gosh. I'm just so confused. How did we not see more? The person passing to us must have been in blue pack 1 because we didn't see a ton of great stuff pack 1. And so that
I got a couple like neutralizes, but that's about it.
Just like unreal, just every blue card in the world here coming around late. Okay, so pack 3. Ooh, we opened a sweet one with the Crystalline Giant.
Yep.
Definitely
one of the best rares in the set.
Yeah. Whenever you roll Hexproof on the first try, you feel like you can't lose. Or like even just a lot of the times you can get like First Strike Death Touch going and things like that, which is just really potent. If this weren't in the pack, it would be kind of a dud almost. I think Blitz Leech.
Probably another Leech,
Yeah. Probably would be the pick there.
Really hoping to get some big cycling creatures, but if we're not green, then the options are kind of diminished since we're kind of left with maybe Serpent or the uncommon Death Corona or whatever the new name is now.
Yeah, the Void Beckner. It's a Space Invader or something. Yep. Would you play an off-color like Greater Sandworm in this deck just as a card to cycle and get back?
Probably, yeah.
Well, it looks like the Magic Gods are trying to make us play the Ozolith, but I think here the pick for me is mostly between like Lava Serpent as a big cycler or like Forbidden Friendship, but probably not the Friendship. I think I'm just leaning towards this, or maybe even Cavern Whisperer.
Yeah, I've been pretty pleasantly surprised by the Cavern Whisperer, but I would probably still go for the Serpent, so we've got that reanimation target.
Yeah, we have currently got Sanctuary Smasher as a fine target that cycles early, but the more you get, the merrier, and it's pretty easy to jam a couple of these in the deck when you have some pretty powerful reanimation effects. And just having haste can really surprise people, especially with like Unbreakable Bond and stuff. Okay, so now there's a Prickly Marmoset, there's a Ram Through if we wanted to splash some removal, there's Durable Coil Bug, as a like 2-drop. What do you want to take here?
I don't mind the Marmoset. We've got a couple cyclers already, and even without too many cyclers, it's still a fine early creature.
Yeah, it definitely puts the pressure on your opponent, makes them have to at least worry about you having cyclers, so that's always a nice addition to a deck. Ooh, so now there's a Farfinder, which I think is probably just the slam pick, because we want to help splash
Yeah.
this back for more. Have you had experience playing any of the ultimatums, and if so, have you been impressed?
I've probably cast most of them by now, but they're kind of a trap sometimes. Other times they can salvage a bad draft. So
Yeah.
yeah, overall, it's kind of hard to exactly pinpoint how good they are, but
Yeah.
they're definitely fun to build around.
Yeah, exactly. Because when you cast them, they obviously do great stuff, but then it's hard to balance whether or not that was too much of a cost for the deck, things like that. Ooh, hello.
Nice.
That was nice. This is a really easy card for us to splash. We were already going to splash green, and now even more paid off. Also a great card to be able to reanimate, especially at instant speed. What a great pickup here. Pick 5.
Yep.
It's really crazy that nobody was in red and willing to splash this before pick 5.
Yeah, I've had a draft where I got an 8th pick Kogla, so strange things can happen in human draft.
Yeah, my best 8th pick in this format was General Kudro when I was a black-white drafter, but Kogla just
Nice.
requires you to be green, so there's just nobody playing green at the entire table.
Yeah, I guess not.
And this is Arena, so it can't even be like, oh, I opened foil Kogla and Kogla. It was just like, yeah, that's crazy. Here I like getting just another Smasher, probably, another big thing.
Yep.
It's cool because black-green is typically the Reanimator deck, but we have a sweet, like, red-black version.
Yep.
Which is kind of neat.
Seems good. I wouldn't mind one more piece of fixing, but might be a bit late for that now.
Yeah. Here, there's a Bushmeat Poacher. There's some 3-drops. How's our curve looking? We have a decent number of 3-drops. Early game maybe needs a little bit reinforcing. I think Bushmeat Poacher's fine to get our cards out from under pacifisms and things like that.
Coil Bug and Friendship to kind of combo with it, so it seems fine.
Yeah. Nice addition to the deck. I've been really impressed with Bushmeat Poacher overall. Like, the life gain can be nice. Wow!
Oh, nice.
Yes! That was a great pickup. I mean, we have a lot of top-end cards, and getting another Unbreakable Bond is a great addition. This deck looks sweet. Tons of powerful additions here. Unbreakable Bond by a mile in this pack. Also recovers from getting beat down pretty well. Now there's Blitzleech versus Cloud Piercer.
I think we've got enough action at 4 with all those rock slides and stuff, so
yeah,
maybe another leech. The fact that most of our top end cycles means that we don't actually have a ton of expensive cards.
Yeah. And now another Friendship, great pickup for us. Just helps us stall the ground out and make sure that we can get to our expensive late game plays, which are kind of going over the top of a lot of things. Another late Clash of Titans. Probably don't want a Gloom Pangolin though. We already have one in the board. Have you ever played Heightened Reflexes?
I don't think I've cast one myself yet, but you know, in an aggressive deck, like especially I'm thinking a red-white deck that doesn't necessarily focus on cycling, alongside like the 2-mana 3/1, it could be good, but I don't know, it doesn't make the cuts very often.
What are your thoughts on Unlikely Aid? Have you ever played this one as a combat trick?
It's fine. It's probably better than the lifelink combat trick, but there's just not a ton of room for combat tricks in black decks because you're either some sort of mutate deck and then you're just mostly creatures, or you're some sort of reanimator deck like we're drafting, and you just need more room for your combo pieces.
Yeah, the other thing I found with Unlikely Aid is that when I hold it up to try and protect my creature from like a removal spell, there's a lot of removal or interaction that doesn't care about Unlikely Aid. So I held up Unlikely Aid to protect a creature yesterday, and they cast Swallow Hole to exile it, or if they capture Sphere or Pacifism, then Unlikely Aid doesn't even protect from all the removal spells.
It's probably at its best in like the black-white human aggro archetype, but even there, I don't know if you would run it very often.
Yeah, so do you have a specific approach to deck building? Like, do you take out all the cards, then add them in one by one, or do you take them out, or do you just like make some cuts based on like your strategy, or how do you generally approach deck building?
For Ikoria, I'm usually like, for each format, I usually put my removal in one pile, because removal usually doesn't line up exactly with the curve of the deck, since you're kind of just casting it whenever the opportunity presents itself as opposed to casting it on curve every time. Also, in Ikoria specifically, put all my cycling cards in one pile, so I have a better idea of like when I can cycle them. So it also looks better for curve.
So we got. Do you just put all cyclers? So like, would you include Sanctuary Smasher with the cyclers, or would you just?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's not an exact science, so
yeah,
can kind of do it however you please. But
okay, so these are like the general powers. I guess Cathartic Reunion is also one that we wouldn't really want to cast on curve if we even want to cast it at all in this deck.
yep.
And then we have like 4 2-drops. I always change the artwork on these cards because it bugs me. I don't know why.
Me too.
I just like being able to, like, if people are watching and they see this artwork, they're not going to know what the card is. So we've got 4 2-drops, which is pretty solid. 3 3-drops, a couple of 4s, and then a 5-drop and a couple of 6-drops in the Blitz Leeches. And then we've got 1, 4, 5, 6 removal spells. I'm counting back for more in that camp. 3 reanimation stuff if we play Black Clash Titans. I initially want to cut at least 1 Cathartic Reunion. Maybe even both. We only have 3 more cuts to make it and fix the mana. Okay, we're back after some technical glitches. So initial thoughts on cuts were the Cathartic Reunions. Maybe this Clash of Titans could go. Maybe a Memory Leak. What do you want to cut here?
Yeah, Clash of Titans seems cuttable. Got a bit of action at 5, plenty of removal already. And then I was talking about Memory Leak potentially being cuttable since we only have the one Marmoset that really cares about cycling specifically.
Yeah. And even though it's a solid card in any black deck, it's not like at its best here. And then what do you think of the mana base? So we do have only 2 green cards we want to splash. We have a Farfinder to help with our mana and a Bloodfell Caves. I was thinking maybe 2 forests, maybe 3.
Yeah, it's between 2 and 3, like 2.5.
Yeah.
Let's see. We do need double red for Crasher, but otherwise we don't have a ton of like double casting cost cards.
Yeah.
So we can probably get away with 3 forests.
Yeah. And then what are those? Our heavier color. We are slightly heavier red than black, but that's mostly due to the double red cost requirement here. If we put these cyclers in like this 3-drop slot, those also require red mana if we were to use those for that. So I think
probably a touch more red.
Yeah, so I think one more mountain. I mean, so this way we have 8 red sources, 7 black sources, and 3 green sources, and then Farfinder to fix our mana for anything else. 17 land seems right here. Any other changes you want to make to the deck, or do you think this is the type of deck to just go with?
Yeah, this seems good.
Yeah.
Like some thoughts about cards we didn't pick up in the draft. I think if we had one of the Mutual Destruction, I think that would have been good with the 2 Friendships and the Coilbug to kind of combo with it, and a Farfinder. So I wouldn't have minded one of those. And then I think we took a Rock Slide over Evolving Wilds. Not sure if that was correct or not, but could go either way on that one.
Yeah, those were definitely close ones.
Don't know if we we had that pick where we could choose between the second Great Horn or if we would stick to red, and I think we took the caves in that pack, if I'm not mistaken. So that was also kind of a decision point in the draft, and I think we made the right call there.
Yeah.
Given the first pack.
Also, interesting retrospective on whether or not there was a chance to get into a blue deck sometime in Pack 2. Like, we got so many crazy... Like, we just saw a ton of blue cards in Pack 2. Like, 5th to last pick Archipelagor. Every blue card in the world was coming around Pack 2. So if there had been... I don't think there was really a chance to get into blue Pack 1. Like, we even took early Neutralize. But there is some thought to, like, if we were blue going into Pack 2, we would have maybe just gotten every blue card in the world, which would have been interesting to see. But yeah, that is...
Yeah, we definitely could have had a couple, I think 2 Essence Scatters and like maybe 3 Neutralize, so a lot of counter spells.
Yeah.
The problem is like the blue-black deck, the Flash deck, I haven't really seen it come together since there's just not that many payoffs for being the Flash deck, other than like Slither Wisp at rare. So while you can have a pile of counter spells, you still need to win the game somehow. And that's kind of the issue with those blue-black Flash decks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've only played it one time, and that was because I had Dirge Bat, and then I got 2 Cunning Nightbonders as kind of Flash payoffs, in a sense. But I agree, the deck oftentimes struggled to win the game. I would sit there with a bunch of counter spells and then be hitting them with like a Nightbonder for like 10 turns, and that was like how I won, and that seems very unreliable as a win con, because one kill spell just shuts down your any chance of winning the game. But that is going to do it for the drafting portion. Thank you so much, Luca, for coming on. Where can people find you and your content if they want to catch more of your high-level, top-notch quality content?
Well, I stream 3 times per week on Twitch at Legenvd, and mostly stream limited Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. And then I also do almost daily uploads on YouTube, mostly constructed, but I'll upload at least 1 draft per week as well.
Awesome stuff. I really do recommend LVD's content. You can find a link to his content in the description down below and in the pinned comment. It was always a blast having you on as a guest and getting your insight into the format. Thanks for helping us draft this sweet Reanimator deck. I'm glad that the cards you mentioned at the beginning actually got passed, because we did get a really cool uncommon-based Reanimator deck here. But yeah, that is going to do it, and we'll say goodbye to Luca for now. Thanks so much for coming on as a guest, and I'll see you, the rest of you folks, in the matches portion. Welcome to round 1 with this sweet Reanimator deck. This is definitely a keep. It has all of our colors. It's got some of our best cards, some removal to help stabilize as the game goes on. And a Prickly Marmoset is a nice addition. Lead with the tap land. You're facing down a Skull Prophet, okay? Not really super interesting. We'll play our Marmoset, then we'll Rock Slide probably whatever they play with this Skull Prophet. We have drawn 2 lands and a spell, so we are going to draw some spells at some point here. Hopefully something big to reanimate. That fits the bill. They did miss a land drop, so I think I am going to Rock Slide this just to buy some time. They could have a Blood Curdle here, or they could just be milling themselves. Interesting. Wait, was I on the play? Maybe they didn't miss a land. Still, they didn't make a play on turn 4, so if we kill their ramp creature... Oh yeah, they did miss a land. Yeah, okay. We're just going to play this and then have the reanimation available for it. We are land heavy, so that means we don't really want to cycle our expensive plays. Glimmerbell. They have hit their 3rd color. Ooh, Quartzwood Crasher is a great draw here. Yeah, I should have attacked first, I guess. Quartzwood Crasher is really good because now if they kill it, we can back for more at instant speed. We could Rock Slide our own Quartzwood at some point. For now, though, we will just play Sanctuary Smasher. It's so straightforward to just back for more the Smasher, but I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough, so I kind of want to just Rock Slide my own creature. Ha, finally. Make it Death Touch. So they have all spells in hand. Let's just Rock Slide this thing so they can't mutate anything onto it. A little bit. Yeah, I was very tempted to kill my own Crasher so I could bring it back. But yeah, we got rid of that, and now we can simply kill this. We still have this as a reanimation target. We will just cast this. We're fine trading these off. Yeah, killing our own Crasher would have been way too cutesy. Oftentimes the most obvious play is just the correct one. They're just going to 1. Okay. Back for more reanimating our 6/4. Definitely going to get the trick done, killing whatever this mutates into. Oh. Interesting. So we can attack for 5. They will simply jump. We have flooded a little bit here. If they do have another mutator, this could be a little problematic. Starix. Starix it is. Oh, shoot. It gets the counter. I forgot about that. So that makes our fight spell not kill it. Depending on what they get off of it, though. So they just got 3 lands? No, they got... Yeah. Oh, no, they got 2 lands and they got their Gloomabelle back. Okay. So we can bring back for more into play, kill Symbiote or something. I think we still just keep waiting. And then if we kill this, then we attack with everything. We can't kill them. I think we were supposed to kill the Essence Symbiote. Oh. We could have killed this all along. My bad. I totally forgot we had the Boot Nipper. I completely whiffed on that. I just assumed we had to bring back the 6/4. I could have won last turn, or at least put some severe pressure on them. So my bad. Definitely a misplay. I don't think we can attack. We just need to draw spells. It'll happen one of these days. Yep, naturally. Of course they have ultimatum. I definitely botched this game completely with my handling of basically every aspect of it. Okay, so Blitzleech they can have. We don't really want to deal with an 8/8, so we won't let them have that. Frostveil and Blitzleech are okay. So they hit me for 5, 8, 9, 10, 11 next turn. So my question is whether or not I'm supposed to cycle this. I think I am. Even though I do want to have some stuff to deal with the to buff my Marma setup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll play this, and now we have a nice blocker for the Blitzleech. We do know they have the 8/8 in their deck somewhere. Okay, big draw. Nope, whiff-daroo on that one. Oh, that is quite good for us. Now if we draw a Cycler Marmoset, can it just kill the Glimmerbell? Well, isn't that interesting? So I'm not complaining because I could have won this game if I had just like killed the Essence Symbiote or been more aware of my Boot Nipper being a good card in the graveyard. But I will say that we have drawn, or I have drawn, a large number of lands. Just, yeah, it's just not even. Just draw 12 lands. It just makes it really hard to function. I mean, they have drawn a lot of lands too, but I feel like they're further into their deck than me. Yeah, they're 7 more cards deep into their deck. There's Crystalline Giant. That's a good one. First strike. Okay. We have to draw a removal spell pretty much to win. Just miserable. I'm so sad. We're not quite dead yet. Let's just see what this guy hits. If he hits flying, we could be in it. Do we even have a basic land left in our deck to find? Oh yeah, we do. We definitely do. What would have been good draws? Any of our spells would have been good draws. Okay, good to know. Let's see what this hits. If it hits flying, we're not quite dead. Nope, hit a counter. Yep. Oh my gosh. That was... I'm not going to say I played that well, but I don't think that was supposed to be a loss in the books as it goes. Spinnerets could be good because they do have a lot of flyers. I guess we're not really a heavy green deck. So what red-black cards could be good? Memory Leak could be okay because we know they have Emergent Ultimatum. What looked bad? We didn't see a ton of small creatures as kills, so let's cut a Blitz Leech. Bum ba da bum. Once again, another hand that can be kept. I completely forgot that Boot Nipper could just be a kill spell. That would have won us the game, I'm pretty sure. Oh well. So we're going to have our first strike Death Toucher here, which is a really good combination. They're going to have to use a removal spell on this or really struggle to penetrate it. The defenses are strong here. We're just going to use our sorcery speed removal on this. Maybe it's too aggressive, but we have a really good spell to bring back, so we want to make sure we can get some value here. And we know they have some mutate stuff. Okay, so they're fetching up some stuff. I'm just trying to think. So they could have their ultimatum here. No, they couldn't. They only have 6 mana. They need another swamp. That is totally okay with us. If we draw a land, we will back for more to kill that. Otherwise, we will simply rock slide and bash. I think with an average draw, our deck should be able to beat theirs. Of one mind, sure. I just need to make sure I don't play like a incompetent, as it were. We'll hold up our Blood Curdle / back for more. They have Emergent Ultimatum, I presume. Yep. They don't have this to go get, so we'll see what they have as options. We don't really want to see Blitz Leech. Hexproof is irritating too, though. So we don't want to see Blitz Leech, because that'll kill our Boot Nipper. We're just going to bring it back without fighting. Because it still is an incredible attacker and gives us lethal. There we go. Easy peasy. Is it getting dark? Because it's getting really dark here. The camera's fine. I'll turn the light on anyway, though. Any changes? Blitzleech still doesn't seem ideal. Clash of Titans could be okay. But they have a lot of like high toughness stuff. Let's just keep it the way it is. This is a redemption game. Ooh, Crystalline Giant, and we can even reanimate it at some point. This hand is pretty good. We have not seen a ton of interaction from them. They're mulliganing to 5. So maybe it won't be as close of a game, unfortunately. Especially if our Crystalline Giant takes over. Just jam the Crystalline Giant. Reach. The worst keyword in the game, pretty much. Yep, we're going to rock slide this. Then we'll Unbreakable Bond our guy back. Good to kill their threats when they are behind on cards. They did get a little bit of value back there. We will bring back Crystalline Giant. It is just a great card. And now it's even more likely to hit good abilities. Flying is a good one. Hexproof is the real game changer, though, because once it's Hexproof, then you know that it's just a reliable late-game win condition. Let's see what we can do here. Reach once more. Blitz Leech, sure. Just own me. Well, luckily they did not block the Crystalline Giant. They forgot that it lost flying. They just snap blocked. I probably should have realized that they had a Blitz Leech, in all honesty. Bummer. Vigilance, eh? Okay, so if they draw force, they can cast their ultimatum. They do not have it, and they've scooped it up. Well, it was an interesting first game, followed by a not super close second game and not a super close third game, but that's the way the game works sometimes. See you folks in the next round. Welcome to round 2 with this sweet Jund Reanimator list and a great hand. Once again, the Boot Nipper Death Touch First Strike combo. Bushmeat Poacher plus the Friendship. Going to go with the combo. Assemble it as quickly as possible. Against red-white, I wish it was on lifelink. I will admit that much. Death Touch First Strike is still quite potent, though. If possible, it's nice to pressure them and also have some blockers. Yeah, lifelink would have been quite nice here, I think. That is not good. I don't really want to trade this for a random 1-mana cycle. Let's just get our Bushmeat Poacher down so we can start drawing extra cards. Cycling this is something that I would like to have happen, but I don't want to just be forced to do that instead of deploying a potent threat like the Bushmeat Poacher. Flourishing Fox, eh? We have a lot of removal, so we should be okay against the Fox. Memory Leak can help against Zenith Flare. They could have a Fire Prophecy. We'll take one. Or they could have like a Divine Arrow. Let's look at their hand. If we see a Zenith Flare, we will definitely take that. Our opponent is being put on the spot with whether they want to cast Fire Prophecy on like Boot Nipper or something. It was a Fire Prophecy. Fire Prophecy actually doesn't do much against us at the moment, so I think, and they do have a thing to mutate onto with the Fox. Let's just get rid of the healer, make it so they can't cycle. Because Fire Prophecy is not too dangerous. If I was them, I probably would have killed the Boot Nipper so they can mutate onto the Fox more effectively. And know that they can get a hit in. Another Dranith Stinger, okay. We'll gain a life, draw a card. Now they can use Fire Prophecy, I guess, but That's okay with us. We have just got to develop our cards. The Marmoset holds back the Stingers pretty nicely. Cycling, okay. A lot of triggers. We're going to have to start finding removal spells at some point here to have a chance. Blitz Leech would be really good. We still need 6th land to cast Blitz Leech, though. We have 2 in the deck. Have, I think, 3 Rumbling Rock Slides, a Blood Curdle. I don't think a Fire Prophecy. But lots of stuff. Passing to attackers. Nope. Okay, we will draw a card. There's the Blitz Leech right on schedule. Okay, well, we did not hit the land we needed for that. So let's just deploy another Forbidden Friendship. Keep the board stable, keep us drawing cards, gaining 1 life every turn, and then the Blitz Leech can come down next turn and take out a Drannith Stinger or a Fox. Probably a Drannith Stinger just for the incremental pings, though killing Rescuer is also appealing. So many triggers. There's also some chance that it is correct just to cycle, make Bushmeat Poacher first strike, make this Prickly Marmoset grow, and then double block the Flourishing Fox. Let's do that. It's more mana efficient. We're not going to be casting these things all that likely. We'll make Bushmeat Poacher have first strike. There's a Rock Slide. Okay, there is the land we needed. We care about the Flourishing Fox the least. Okay, so they're... And then next turn we'll just Rock Slide the Fox. The Fox is currently a 4/4. Maybe next turn we just Rock Slide something else. Let's just kill the Fox for now. Because we do remove all the counters. Because the way we lose is if they just get their Fox out of range somehow. Right now we can only lose really to Zenith Flare, which is what I'm most worried about. We're just going to start Rock Sliding their Stingers and their Rescuers. Probably the Stinger first. Because 2 Stingers is still a lot of damage. They have 5 Cyclers in the graveyard. They just cast a Cloud Piercer, okay. Kill Drannith Stinger. We can give Blitz Leech first strike. Which maybe we should have done, but I kind of want to do that on defense. Like double block and then first strike so that it dies for sure. Also, just sacking a creature gaining a life is nice. Okay, this works out nicely. Taking a bit of a hit here. Well, I guess this will be the test on whether or not we they have a Zenith Flare. Really? They have Fidus 1? Well, that's a major bummer. Just absolutely major bummer. Yep, we lose. We can sacrifice this to gain 3 life, go up to 9, block 3 of these things, and we're just dead. Fidus 1 really wrecked us. We did not see a Zenith Flare. They are good cycling decks, so our boot nippers are going to want to go on lifelink. Memory leak could be okay. Clash of Titans may be a tempting option, but I think just sticking with the main deck configuration should be fine. Gloom Pangolin could also match up decently. Whew. They just have a very good cycling deck. Lots of key synergies that are tricky to disrupt. To be fair, though, we did not draw our best cards, like Quartzwood Crasher, back for more in that matchup, so hopefully we get some of those synergies going in this game. We're going to keep this hand. We have a couple cyclers to find our lands. We have some removal. Blitz Leech is good in the matchup. It is a bit of a clunker, though. Lava Serpent coming back with haste and lifelink can be a big game changer. They mulligan, that's good for us. So we're going to have to play around Fidus 1, +2/+2 and flying when we can. Opponent not the speediest player, it looks like. Tough decisions on their mulligans. No Fox is good. Definitely cycling to Lava Serpent. Okay. Stinger. Valiant Rescuer. Yep, there's the Stinger. Our deck does have decent answers at the 4-drop slot, but nothing really before then. That's a key card for the matchup. Does not look like they have good answers to it. Probably going to cycle the Smasher. Though maybe it's just too good with Quartzwood giving first strike. Probably best to save it. We already kind of have a 6-drop lined up, so I'll probably just cycle this. Let's just get rid of it. It's kind of an inefficient card to cast. Kind of rewarded there. Okay. Gonna probably blood curdle the Dranith Stinger. just to get rid of it. They don't have a cycler to play. Interesting. Splendor Mare, sure. Not going to block because we know they have Fire Prophecy. And Quartzwood should carry us to victory. They could have a pacifism or something, but we did not see a pacifism in the first game. I wonder what they're digging towards, maybe a pacifism. So they have 2 mana up, so they could have like Divine Air or something. Let's just go for the max damage here. Okay. Put it over. And opponent has scooped it up. Okay, on to game 3. Gloom Pangolin could do some work. Memory Leak. The Sanctuary Smashers don't seem great in this matchup. Maybe just want a little bit more interaction in the form of Clash of Titans. So let's do that. Even killing a pair of Dranith Stingers could do just enough to get us over the finish line. Sanctuary Smasher is a card that I was pretty high on earlier in the format, but 3 mana cycling is relatively clunky in these fast matchups. I still think the card is good. It just isn't as good in this particular situation, where a 6 mana 6/4 first strike is just going to be too slow a lot of the time. Okay, this hand is okay. On the draw, we don't have any early drops, but the deck doesn't have a ton of early drops, and it has some of the best cards in the deck. And of course, they have a Fox on turn 1 in this all-important critical game 3. But on turn 4, should be able to kill this, provided they don't just end the game by cycling over and over, which is wont to happen. Oh, they only have 1 land. Of course they do. Nope, they have multiple lands. Yikes. Well, this game is over. Almost was able to do something, but Fox just goes out of control again. Pretty classic situation for the Fox. Oh, they don't have any more cyclers. Savai Thundermane, please give me a spell. Nope. That is the weakness of this deck. It does not have early spells. So on turn 4, Rumbling Rockslide can kill Fox, and then turn 5, kill whatever the next spell they play, along with the Savai Thundermane maybe. Well, this game is basically over. Yep, that's a 7/6. So Blood Curdle or bust it is. And even then, basically over. Yep. We did not cast a spell in this final game. Our deck is really slow. Just had to hope they didn't have like Fox as an early drop to do 10 damage to us. But that is the way it goes sometimes. And we'll see you folks in the final round. Welcome to the final round. Hopefully the deck can do some cool things here. On the draw, probably still have to keep this hand. Our deck just is slow. We have some 3-drops, some 2-drops. A lot of the cards in our deck are just clunkers, though. Unbreakable Bond plus Smasher is a good combo. Just have to find a swamp to enact it. Are they playing... Oh, thank goodness it's not. Red-white. Still, this is not the greatest for us, them having a 2-drop. Farfinder can stem the bleeding a little bit. Also finds us the swamp. Zerda, eh? Being on the draw is also really unfortunate when you're a slow deck. But you gotta be able to win on the draw. It's part of the game. We don't have a ton of mutate, so getting our Farfinder to trade, prevent some damage is nice. When you're behind, a lot of the time you want to just use your removal instead of trying to play a stabilizing creature, because they're probably sitting on some removal. So that's just a general tip. So now here we're taking 3, whereas if they had a removal spell, we'd be taking 6 and would be very close to dead. Yeah, that's really awkward. Okay, let's see what we can find here. Not the worst. Not great, though. Because now, again, if they have removal, trouble city. Oh, they have nothing. Wait, they're splashing a double blue card? Interesting. Boom, that's really good. Great trade. Just going to get the Cloudpiercer back with lifelink. So we can stabilize the board. Start gaining back some life. Blood Curdle, okay. Gonna lead with the Sanctuary Smasher. Blitzleech doesn't really want to kill the 1/1 menace, but it can in a pinch. Just going to play the Bushmeat Poacher and the Marmoset. We can't just hold a Blitzleech because they'll see it coming. They know we missed a land drop. Just got to get aggressive, end the game before they can end the game. We don't know what's in their hand. Removal would be bad. But at least we have 2 blockers that can kind of hold down the fort. Yep, that is grim. Grim indeed. Okay, time to get creative here. So we flash in Blitzleech, shrink, kill this thing, block here, take 1. And then potentially have lethal if we use the cycling properly. That did not work out the way one would have hoped. So kill this. That still works out okay. Block here, block here. Untap, cycle memory leak, have lethal. Kinda clutched that one out, grabbing victory from the jaws of defeat. Okay, so they have some 1/5s, they have some menace. Gloom Pangolin could really thrive here. Over Sanctuary Smasher, just pretty easy swap there, 1 for 1. They have a lot of 1/1s. They have some menace. 1/5s really chip in nice on double blocks. I think I should have brought in the Gloom Pangolin in the previous matchup as well. It might have helped. This is another clunker. The deck just has a lot of clunky hands. Probably just a keep, though. I kind of want to play a game where Crystalline Giant just takes over. Probably just going to cast Memory Leak. Ooh, especially now. Clear the way for the Quartzwood Crasher, get rid of a Blood Curdle. That Frenzied Raptor is going to hit like a truck. Get rid of a Blood Curdle. They have multiple Blood Curdles, so probably just going to get rid of the Frill Scare Mentor so that they can't pressure us as much. The Quartzwood Crasher plan is just not going to materialize this game. Just don't want to take too much damage. Probably just going to cast some other creatures before the Quartzwood, draw out those Blood Curdles. Notice if they had the Frill Scare, we would be at like much higher threat level right now. Not going to give them the chance to spend their mana very well. We'll just flash in Blitz Leech to kill the durable Coil Bug probably. Keep making them waste their mana a little bit. Double Blood Curdle, definitely a scary prospect. Shrink the Coil Bug, draw out a Blood Curdle. Oh, Friendship. Play Smasher. Hopefully this draws out the second Blood Curdle, and then Pangolin plus Quartzwood Crasher can seal the deal off. Ooh, they're splashing blue as well. Oh, for that Illuna. Okay, so they are out of cards. They're just top decking here. And we can actually block their stuff. This could prompt a concession if they don't have a kill spell for Quartzwood. But yeah, this was our plan. We're at 11. We stabilized because we got rid of that Frill Scare Mentor. Leveraged our cards, made them use their removal spells. And now we reap the rewards. Gonna Rock Slide this. Attacking with Pangolin was probably irresponsible, but the opponent has seen enough, scooping it up, and we got the victory. If you did watch this video all the way to the end, remember to check out Luca's content. Thanks again to him at Legenvd for coming on as a guest. You can find him on YouTube. You can find him on Twitch. Be sure to check the description and the pinned comment for links to his content. You can also support my content by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Leave hashtag Reanimator to let me know you made it all the way to the end of the video. I really do enjoy seeing those comments. You can catch me streaming live at twitch.tv/NicolaiBolas. You can join the free NicolaiBolas community Discord server in the description and pinned comment as well. And you can also support me directly on Patreon. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. It was a ton of fun collaborating with Luca. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you folks next time.